Now, video game movies have gotten a bad rep for a long time, but these past couple of years have proven a lot of people wrong. They can be really good. I mean, look at flicks like Sonic the Hedgehog and Free Guy. I had tons of fun with both of those. This one follows the old status quo, unfortunately. Guys, my name is Zack. Welcome back to my channel where I of course discuss all new things cinema and entertainment on the regular, and I'm so appreciative that you guys decided to click on this thumbnail today. I really hope you enjoy your stay, because this time around we are looking at Resident Evil Welcome to Mediocrity. I mean Raccoon City. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the latest attempt, number 7 I believe, to revitalize one of the most popular video game sagas to the silver screen. Be very afraid. Raccoon City in this flick was once the booming home of pharmaceutical giant Umbrella Corp, and the company's exodus left the city a wasteland, a dying town with great evil brewing below the surface. And when that evil is unleashed, a group of survivors must work together to uncover the truth behind Umbrella and make it through the night. So listen guys, I'm a huge fan of retro games. Resident Evil, I'm more so of a casual fan as opposed to just hardcore fanboying about it. I'm not buying the latest Resident Evil game the day it comes out and playing the campaign in one night. I'm not doing that. I have played it a few times though, and I have enjoyed myself every time I popped it on. And I was so willing to give this movie a chance despite the pieces of garbage Paul W.S. Anderson was putting together with the Resident Evil name attached to them. This time we have Johannes Roberts as our writer/director, and even though his track record isn't the greatest, this is the guy who gave you both 47 meters down flicks. Great movies. But I have heard in interviews that he is a gigantic fan of the Resident Evil games, so I was willing to give this guy a shot. This was one of his big passion projects here, so even though I wasn't expecting a ton out of this film, this was clearly a product of love for this guy, so I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. And give the movie credit where it's due. This movie retains a lot of faithfulness to the first 2 games in the franchise. The atmosphere of this movie really does make you feel like you've turned on your retro PlayStation 1 and turned on Resident Evil 2. Right down to the character of Claire Redfield sitting shotgun in a truck and the driver's munching on this giant burger. And her brother Chris has a sequence where he's fighting some of these undead creatures, with the only light in those scenes coming from the shotgun blasts. And that's a really neat effect. That feels right out of the games. But that's just the thing, guys. This movie shows flashes of potential. I sadly found myself kind of bored watching this thing, and it was only 90 minutes long. It felt like it was 90 hours. And that's mainly because the characters in this movie are borderline generic, if I'm being nice about it, or they're just the most unlikable hollow creatures you will ever see walking the face of the earth, which is ironic considering what they're fighting in this. The only character you can really get behind is Claire Redfield herself, who is played by the underrated Scodelario, who is certainly giving it her all. But this will be a recurring theme throughout this review. This script does her absolutely no favors. And that's the case with the rest of these characters. Let me just give you a couple of examples. Claire's brother Chris is played by Robbie in this film. And what's his character? Well, he's a cop. He kind of resents his sister for abandoning him at the orphanage when they were young. And that's about it. That's literally all I learned about him throughout the course of this film. The character of Wesker in this film is played by Tom Hopper, and yeah, I know, Umbrella Academy actor in a movie centered around the Umbrella Corps, that's low-hanging fruit. But you know, again, aside from him being the muscular brute who's hunting down all these monsters, not really much character to go off of here. And worst of all, guys, might be Leon the rookie cop, who's played here by Beck Oliver from Victorious. You guys remember him? Yeah. He's all grown up now. He's in this movie. And oh my god, how is this guy a police officer? Listen, he's certainly giving it his all once again, but like I said earlier for Scodelario, this script is doing this guy no favors at all. How this police officer has no idea how to work a shotgun is completely beyond me. And oh my gosh, okay, just to give you an idea of how shitty this script is, there's a sequence where he is kind of bonding with Claire Redfield in the police station. And you know, they're just sitting there kind of gathering their weapons, and then he just out of the blue says, "Hey, bet you're wondering why I'm a police officer." And then Claire looks at him and she goes, "Yeah, I kinda am wondering why you're a cop." Exactly my sentiments, Claire. Great observation. And All he could really say was 2 words. Me too. Like, was that him being modest, or did the script literally have no idea what to do with this guy? That really was not made clear enough for me, sadly. And I think that's the big issue with this movie. As I mentioned, I was more of a casual fan of Resident Evil rather than a diehard beating all the campaigns right when they came out. But the reason why this script is a mess is probably because it's condensing the first 2 games into a 90-minute screenplay, which is a bold move because the first 2 games are hours upon hours of content. Like, wouldn't this have been better if it were a mini-series instead? I think anybody who's making a video game movie should start taking notes of what HBO is doing with The Last of Us. That is probably gonna be awesome because it's hours upon hours of content just like an actual video game. So because the first 2 games are condensed under 90 minutes, everything, especially the characters, feel absolutely rushed. And because these characters aren't properly developed, we not only have a script that's a gigantic mess trying everything it can to put these guys over, but we have a story where I just don't get invested. If these characters died in the games, I'd be a little torn up about it because I wouldn't be seeing them anymore from that point. If they were dying in the movie, heck, I could just shrug my shoulders. That's all I can really do. Like, why should I care? It just feels like the movie is banking on the fact that its audience knew what happened in the games, or who these characters were in the games. And I really don't think that's ideal for a video game film. A show, or a movie for that matter, based off of a video game should go in expecting that the audience knows nothing about the subject matter. Like Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, I feel like a casual viewer could go into that movie and they could still have a ton of fun with it, and then, you know, kind of go along with everything that's happening. Point being, I think video game movies can only be successful if they start completely from scratch. Like, look at Free Guy and how successful that was. I loved Free Guy. That's one of my favorite movies of the year thinking about it. And I didn't get that fun vibe at all watching Welcome to Raccoon City. It was boring. It was tedious. The characters were boring. And not to mention, the way this movie just ends with a compact third act, which is atrocious all by itself. But the way this movie just ends, I feel like is just banking on the fact that there will be sequels. Oh gee, more. Can't wait. I'm gonna give Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City a D+. Unfortunately, one of the weakest movies of the year. And like I said, the effort that went into this movie, there were some really cool things about the atmosphere. Kaya Scodelario definitely giving it her all. And I think those 2 things by itself saved this film from being a complete, total, utter failure. But I think relying too much on the audience's knowledge or lack thereof of the games is the movie's kryptonite. But as part of the course, guys, this is all just my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought of Welcome to Raccoon City down in the comments section below. Did you guys hate it? Did you love it somehow? Make as much noise down in the comments section as you want. Feel free to let me know what your favorite Resident Evil game is, even if you play Resident Evil. Of course, I love discussing all new things, cinema, video games, entertainment, what have you, all this geeky stuff. If content like this looks and sounds appealing to you, I would recommend smashing that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. This channel is in fact on the road to 1,000 subscribers, which I'm hoping to reach very, very soon. So if you guys could help that along, that would be fantastic. It's totally free to you guys. It's very, very beneficial in helping get this content out there to more people, as does smashing that thumbs up button on your way out. That would be much appreciated, guys. And as per, stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very, very soon. Look out for my reviews for both Disney's Encanto as well as House of Gucci. I will also be checking out The Power of the Dog on Netflix this week, December 1st. So you guys have got content like that. I'll of course be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home once the time comes. That's the most anticipated movie of the year right there. Unironically, the most anticipated film of the year. But guys, I can't thank you enough for your support up to this point. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.